Here are 10 things that I've noticed about men in football. Number 1, the ownership dream. You would think that football men would want to be one of the players on the NFL's best league, best team. Completely and utterly wrong. So far from the truth, I can't even explain. They want to own the team. The real dream is not to run routes, not to throw touchdowns. It's to sit in the owner's box. They want to make those billion-dollar decisions. And a recent study found that 97% of men think they could run the team better than the GM. They're not just a fan yelling at that TV. They want to control those plays. Number 2, secret Reddit identities. Every man in a jersey, there is a chance that he is running a niche Reddit account. He will drop 5,000 word takes in the most random subreddit thread, talking about defensive schemes, draft pick, and why that one kicker in 2015 should have never been signed. It just goes and goes. They're more articulate here than any other part of life. You ask a man about his feelings, ask him about the Packers' fourth quarter collapse in 2024. Sit back for a TED Talk. Gibbs already has 1,016 rushing yards. David Montgomery has 771 rushing yards, averaging 59.3 YPG, and will need to average just under that at 57.3 over the last 4 games. Amon-Ra St. Brown has 863 receiving yards, averaging 66.4 YPG, and will need to average 34.3 over the last 4. Jameson Williams has 710 receiving yards, averaging 64.5 YPG, and he will need to average 72.5 over the last 4 to get there. Jemo seems to be the least likely to get there, but 6 of his 11 games played this year have been above average. He needs, so it's certainly possible. Should be an interesting situation to watch down the stretch. And that wasn't even... In Madden, when I need a stud slot receiver, I draft a receiving back archetype HP and switch that position to WR. Obviously, the Madden draft is identical to the real life, and Bob Quinn just took a page out of my book. Jason Huntley, 99 OVR superstar X Factor slot WR confirmed. Jokes aside, I'm going to make a case here that Jaden Huntley is indeed going to be a stud slot WR. First of all, there are some players that are freaks of nature that can thrive equally in the pass and run. These players are like Christian McCaffrey, who put up over 1K yards rushing and over 1K yards receiving in 2019. Players like Percy Harvin, who almost purely a wide receiver in the NFL due to how easy he was injured in college. But as a Gator, Harvin was listed as an RB in his junior year and was the first player in the University of Florida history to put over 100 yards in both receiving and rushing in a single game. 2007 Florida versus Vanderbilt. Players like Randall Cobb, who... it's pages. It's pages long. Find your mans on Reddit. Football is a religion for some people. This is an identity for them. Sundays are sacred. Their jerseys are vestments, and Lambeau Field is Mecca. As we saw in the Reddit thread, men treat old games like sacred texts. They will reference a game from 15 years ago like it happened yesterday. And this thing is complete with play-by-play commentary. Remember the 06 AFC Championship? 3rd and long, Manning threaded the needle. I don't know. They remember this stuff. This is going to be personal to some women because if he forgot your anniversary, I'm just saying, he has the capacity. He has the capacity to remember. Another study showed that 55% of fans have rituals, and many truly believe that their behavior affects the game, which leads us to point number 4. Football men are extremely superstitious, but only in this area of life. You guys know they have the lucky socks, lucky pants, the lucky shirt. They'll have like a place they have to sit in on the couch that day. Like they have to sit there because that's gonna make them win. 30% of fans admitted to believing their actions affect the game's outcome, and 70% just lied. Number 5, fantasy football hustle. Fantasy football is not just a game, and it's not just a hobby. Not to these men. This thing is a side hustle. The fantasy football industry is worth $9 billion. I am in the wrong industry. They treat this thing like a Wall Street portfolio. They pour hours into researching their draft pick, only to argue over $100 at the end of the season. It's not about the money. 6, the we phenomenon. Men talk about their favorite team like they are on the payroll. We had a tough game. Or if they won, we crushed them. Feel like they are a part of it. Men are not typically the consumer economy. We know that the consumer economy is a vast majority women, but not when it comes to this sphere. You slap their team's logo on anything and they will buy it. A spatula. Oh, they won't even cook. They're buying an oven mitt. Chair, a yard chair, classic one. All the jerseys, all the hats. The amount of money funneled into this. Number 7, football men live by this rule. blame the refs. I feel bad for these refs sometimes because they are public enemy number one. Their team could lose 42-7, but it was all because of a bad call in the second quarter. Like, we were robbed. You have heard it. Number 8. This is part of how men flex, knowing the nicknames of like their favorite players. I think it makes them feel like they're friends. I don't know what it is. Beast mode, Matty Ice. By the way, they just expect that you know that. Like, if you don't know that, it's like, you're stupid. How could you not know the nickname of this one player? I don't know. I'm including 9 and 10 in one because this is the main point of football. Football is their emotional outlet with other men. Football is how they connect. Like, women, we can just talk on the couch for hours. We can go get a coffee and we can be with another girl for 5 hours just talking. Men like to sit side by side and watch the game. They don't, the face to face is too much for them. They don't like that. Football is not just about the game, it's about the brotherhood. Someone's gonna come for me in the comment section, but that is a huge part of what football is about. A man can go into a bar. He has no idea how to make friends with another guy. He will leave a bar with no new friends. Whereas girls, we can have 15 new friends if we go to the bathroom. But if a guy at the bar is wearing the same jersey as him, serious, this could be potential for a lifelong friendship. Lifelong. No qualms, there'll be no quarrels because they pretty much agree on everything. I've seen the largest emotional capacity from men when they watch football. They cry, they hug, they high five, they shed tears with complete strangers over a win or a loss. It's the one time that men let their guard down, and I like it. It's heartwarming. It's kind of cute. But football men are very interesting. You're a guy and you don't watch football. That's like weird. Like, if you don't watch football and you're a guy, guys are kind of like, what do you do? Like, that's how big football is. It's all very interesting to me.